Good morning. I am 4 minutes earlier today. As always, if you're watching in recording, you're welcome to fast forward or stay with us through our hellos. Good morning, Gina. Happy first day of March to you too. Nobody is joining us today, Gina. What's going on? I think I tagged everybody. Let's wait another couple of minutes. Hopefully, people will find their way here. Good morning, Sandra. Good morning, Judy. Yes, Gina, maybe everybody's sleeping in. The weather here, at least, is quite windy and definitely sleepy. Anyways, we will start now. And whoever couldn't join us live, of course, can rewatch it. That's the beauty of replays. Anyway, today we will explore another important pair of emotional experiences: connection versus disconnection. Judith Jordan, a relational cultural theory theorist, writes, The need for connection, in which growth is a priority, is the core motivation for people's lives. In growth-fostering relationships, people are able to bring themselves most fully and authentically into connection. From an evolution perspective, connection was about survival. Today, it's what gives purpose and meaning to our lives. Research shows that people who have strong connections with others are happier, healthier, and better able to cope with stresses of everyday life. Brené Brown defines connection as the energy that exists between people when they feel seen, heard, and valued, when they can give and receive without judgment, and when they derive sustenance and strength from the relationship. Connection is in our neurobiology. This is why our experiences of disconnections are so painful, and why chronic disconnection leads to social isolation, loneliness, and feelings of powerlessness. Disconnections are normative and inevitable in any relationship, of course. And if they can be addressed and reworked, they are not problematic at all. In fact, they become places of enormous growth. So when an injured person can represent their experience of disconnection or pain to the more powerful person in the relationship and be responded to with interest or concern, the hurt person has a sense of mattering, of having an effect on the other. And this strengthens connection as well as a sense of relational competence. Jordan goes on to explain that when disconnection is not addressed, as frequently occurs in unequal power structures, chronic disconnection and disempowerment arise, and the person often loses touch with their own feelings and inner experiences. And this is really powerful. So disconnection from another person can create disconnection from ourselves. Wow. Brené Brown writes, I think we underestimate how much disconnection hurts. It hurts more than our feelings. It can actually cause physical pain. Disconnection is often equated with social rejection, social exclusion, and social isolation, and these feelings of disconnection actually share the same neural pathways with feelings of physical pain. And just like healing physical pain requires describing it, talking about it, and sometimes getting professional help, we need to do the same thing with emotional pain. Before we go into our embodied exploration, I want to mention a couple of sticky points to watch out for when it comes to disconnection. The first one is avoidance. To avoid the pain and vulnerability that may occur when our efforts to achieve connection are unsuccessful, we may enact our own disconnection strategies, such as hiding parts of ourselves or discounting our need for others. We may learn that it is safer to keep our feelings to ourselves rather than sharing them in our relationships. Of course, in the long run, this does not work at all. This leads to even more disconnection and hurt. The second sticky point is perfectionism. There is actually a perfectionism social disconnection model. And this research shows that people who are high on the perfectionistic scale behave in ways that cause perceived and actual exclusion and rejection by others. In other words, my perfectionism drives me to show up in ways that leads people to push me away. And it's very painful to think about because ultimately our perfectionism is about trying to avoid being excluded or rejected. And what we achieve is the opposite. Anyway, let's explore this together. So take a comfortable position. And as always, take a few moments to acknowledge all the circumstances of your practice. Internal and external circumstances. Noting what you perceive as your inner experiences inside your body versus outer experiences outside of your body. Let your breath be easy. Don't try to control it. Simply follow the trajectory of your breath from the moment the air in front of you becomes your breath as you inhale to the moment when you exhale, letting your breath merge back into the atmosphere. Select your primary anchor for this practice. It can be your breath or any sensation in your body that's easy for you to come back to when you notice that your mind is wandering, can't stay in this moment. And now bring to mind a relationship in which you feel disconnected, meaning not heard, seen, or valued in some way. Maybe remember a specific situation when you felt in this way and notice what comes up in your body as you reflect on this. What are your actual physical sensations right now? What happens to your breath? What happens to your heart rate? If you could express your feelings of disconnection, of not being seen, heard, or valued through a pose or a movement, what would it be? And remember, don't just think about it, don't theorize, actually do it. Express your feelings of disconnection through a pose or a movement. What's happening in your mind? What are you thinking of right now? Are there any feelings of shame, embarrassment? Does your mind go in the direction of blaming the other person or the whole world for the situation? And remember, there is no judgment, we're just exploring, so whatever you find out is perfect. And now literally shake that off. Remember how we did it a few days ago. Shake your whole body, your arms, your legs, your head. Giving your whole system, your whole nervous system, a literal reset. And now once again, pay attention to your breathing without trying to control it. See if you can follow the trajectory of your breath from the moment you inhale, take in the air, and this air becomes your breath, to the moment when you exhale, letting the breath merge into the air, into the atmosphere. Reflect on how your breath itself is a powerful tool for connection. Notice how you start feeling when you pay attention to your breath, when you use it as a tool for connection. Reminding yourself that you are an integral part of this world, not separate from it. Reminding yourself of our oneness, interconnectedness. And now, bring to mind a situation, a relationship, where you feel this visceral connection to another person or a group of people. A relationship where you don't feel judged, where you feel seen, heard, valued. A relationship where you feel that you matter. And as you reflect on that, notice what's happening in your body now. What are your actual physical sensations? What are your thoughts? If you could express the feeling of connectedness through a pose or a movement, what would it be? And again, don't just think about it, actually do it. Express your feeling of connection through a pose or a movement. Reflect on the difference between feeling connected and disconnected in a relationship. And perhaps you can set an intention of voicing your disconnection in that relationship that hurts. Finding a way to talk about it, to describe your feelings to the other person. This may be scary, but remember that when your disconnection gets addressed, it becomes a powerful space for enormous growth. So as you go through your day today, I invite you to notice when you feel this disconnection, when you feel connection. Notice the difference. And whenever possible, find a way to bring up the feelings of not being seen, heard, or valued to the other person or people in your life who you feel disconnected from, so that you don't lose this connection with yourself, so that you don't avoid being hurt by hiding parts of yourself. Just see how it goes. And of course, if you want to share your experience, I invite you to do it in the comments. so that we can all benefit from it. Thank you so much for being here today. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you tomorrow.